Sai Satcharita, Chapter 11. Sai as Sagun Brahma, the absolute with qualities, came from the Sanskrit Saguna, with qualities gunas, and Brahman, the absolute close to the concept of immense, the manifested divine presence. Dr. Pandit's workshop. His Siddiq Falke, Haji Muhammad Siddiq Falke, was born in Kalyan around 1841. He was an affluent landowner and possessed vast acres of farmlands. He was sophisticated, well read, intelligent, and very spiritual. He had travelled widely to places like Bhagavat, Constantinople, and Mecca. Dada Saheb Kapadev has recorded the following on one of his visits to Shirdi, dated 14th December 1911 to 23rd December 1911, in his Shirdi diary, Control over the Elements. Let us now, in this chapter, describe the manifested Sagun Brahman Sai as to how he was worshipped and how he controlled the elements. Sai as Sagun Brahma. There are two aspects of God or Brahma: the unmanifested Nirgun and the manifested Sagun. The Nirgun is formless, while the Sagun is with form. Though both denote the same Brahma, some prefer to worship the former from the latter, as stated in the Gita, chapter 13. The worship of the latter is easy and preferable, as man has got a form, body, senses, etc. It is natural and easy for him to worship the God with form. Our love and devotion to do not develop unless we worship Sagun Brahma for a certain period of time, and as useless we worship Sagun Brahma for a certain period of time, and as we advance, it leads us to the worship meditation of Nirgun Brahma. So let us start with Sagun worship. Image, altar, fire, light, sun, water, Brahma are the seven objects of worship. But Sadguru is better than all this. Let us on this occasion bring to our mind the form of Sai, who was worshipped, non-attachment, incarnate, and who was a resting place for his devotees. Our faith is in his words in the Asan, and our sankalpa, determination to accomplish the puja, is the abandonment of all our desires. Some say that Sai was a Bhagavat Bhakta, devotee of the Lord. Others say he was a Mahabhagavat, a great devotee. But to us he is tolerant and content beyond comparison. Though he looked embodied as having the form, he was really disembodied, emotionless, unattached, and internally free. The Ganges on its way to the sea cools and refreshes the creatures affected with heat, gives life to the crops and trees, and quenches the thirst of many. Similarly, saint souls like Sai, while they live their own, give solace and comfort to all. Lord Krishna has said that the saint is my soul, my living image. I am he, or she is my pure form being. This is the describable Shakti or power of God, known as pure existence, knowledge and bliss. Incarnated in the form of Sai in Shirdi, the Shruti Taittiriya Upanishad describes Brahma as pure bliss. This we read or hear daily in the books, but the devout people experience this Brahma or bliss in Shirdi. Baba, the support of all, required no prop or asan from anybody. He always used a piece sackcloth for his seat, which was covered with a small mattresses by his bhaktas, and had a bolster placed by them rest as his back. Baba respected the feelings of his devotees and allowed them to worship him as they liked. Some waved chamar or fans before him, some played on musical instruments, some washed his hands and feet, some others applied scent and chandan, some gave betel net with leaves, and some others offered naivedya. Though he looked like a living in Shirdi, he was present everywhere. This all pervasiveness of his was daily experienced by his devotees. Our humble prostration to this all pervasive Sadguru. Dr. Pandit's worship. One Dr. Pandit, a friend of Tatya Sahib Nolkar, once came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan. After saluting Baba, he sat in the masjid for some time. Baba asked him to go to Dada Bhatt Kelkar. He went to Dada Bhatt, by whom he was well received. Then Dada Bhatt left his house for puja, and Dr. Pandit accompanied him. Dada Bhatt worshipped Baba. Nobody until then dared to apply sandal paste to Baba's forehead. Only Mahalsapati used to apply it to his neck, but his simple-hearted Dr. Pandit took Dada Bhatt's dish containing puja materials and taking sandal paste out of it, drew a tripura and three horizontal lines Baba forehead. To the surprise of all, Baba kept silent, not uttering a single word. Then Dada Bhatt that evening asked Baba, how is it that though you object to that sandal paste being applied by others to your forehead, you allowed Dr. Pandit to do so? Baba replied that Dr. Pandit believed him to be the same as his Guru Raghunath, Maharaj of Dopeshwar, known as Kaka Puranik, and he applied the paste to his forehead as he was doing to his Guru. Hence he could not object. On inquiry, Dr. Pandit told Dada Bhatt that he took Baba as his Guru Kaka Puranik and realized him as the same. Hence he marked the Triprand on Baba's forehead as he did on his Guru's. Though Baba allowed the devotees to worship him as they pleased, still sometimes he acted in a strange way. Sometimes he threw away the puja dish and was the Wrath, W-R-A-T-H, Kopam, incarnate then who could approach him. Sometimes he scolded the devotees, at times he looked thus after then wax, a statue of peace and forgiveness. Though he seemed to shake with anger and his red eyes rolled around, still he was internally an ocean of affection and motherly love. He would call out his devotees and say that he never knew when he was very angry with them. If it was possible that mothers could kick their children and the sea turn back the river, he could neglect the devotees' welfare, that he, the slave of his devotees, always stood by them and responded to them whenever they called upon him, and that he always longed for their love. Haji Siddiq Falke. There was no knowledge, no knowing as to when Baba would accept a devotee. That depended on his will. Siddiq Falke's story is to the point. One Mohammedan gentleman by name Siddiq Falke of Kalyan, after making Mohammedan gentleman by name Siddiq Falke of Kalyan after making pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina, came to Shirdi. He lived in the Chavdi facing north and sat on open courtyard of the masjid. For 9 months Baba ignored him and did not allow him to step into the masjid. Falke felt disconsolate, Nirasa Chandi, DASCONSOLATE, Nirasa Guraina, without consolation or solace, hopelessly unhappy and inconsolable, and did not what to do. Somebody advised him not to be disappointed, but to approach through Shyama Madhavrao Deshpande, close and intimate devotee of Baba. He told him that as they approached to the Lord Shiva through his servant and devotee Nandi, so should Baba be approached through Shyama. Falke liked the idea and implored, IMPLORED, Pradinchu, Yachinchu, Dinanga Adinchu, beg someone earnestly or desperately to do something. He implored her to change her mind, Shama to intercede for him. Shama agreed and on a convenient occasion spoke to Baba about him thus: Baba, why don't you allow the old Haji to step into the masjid while so many persons freely come and go after taking your darshan? Why not bless him once? Baba replied, Shama, you are immature to understanding things. If the fakir does not allow, what can I do? Without his grace, who will climb into the masjid? Well, go to him and ask him whether we will come to the narrow footpath near Barvi well. Shama went and returned with an affirmative answer. Again Baba said to Shama, returned with asked him whether he will be willing to pay me the sum of 40,000 in 4 installments. Shama went and returned with the answer that he was willing to pay even 40 lakhs. Again Baba said to Shama, we are going to cut a goat in the masjid, so ask him if we would like to have its meat, haunch or testicles of the goat. Shama returned with the answer that the Haji would be happy to receive a small crumb from Baba's Colombo mud pot. Hearing this, Baba got excited and with his hands threw away the earthen jars and Colombo and straightaway advanced to the Haji and lifting his kafni up in his arm. Why do you brag? BRAJ, Dambalu Goppaga Cheppukuntaru, say something in a boastful manner and post yourself as an old Haji. Do you read Quran like this? You are proud of your pilgrimage to Makkah, but you do not know me. Being the scalded, the Haji was confounded. CONFOUNDED. Kalavapaddadu. Used for emphasis, especially to express anger or annoyance. Baba then went back to masjid, purchased a basket of mangoes and sent to the Haji. Then again, Baba went to the Haji and taking out 55 rupees from his pocket, gave them a Haji hand. Thenceforth, THENCFORTH. Apart నుండి loved the Haji, invited him for meals, and the Haji thereafter came into the masjid whenever he liked. Baba gave him at times some rupees, and thus the Haji was enrolled in Baba's darbar. Baba's control over the elements. We shall close this chapter after describing 2 incidents showing Baba's control over the elements. 1. Once at evening time there was a terrible storm of Shirdi. The sky was overcast. Megavrutamaiundi. OVRCAST. Chikati kammu mabbu maskaina. Cloud covering a large part of the sky with the thick black clouds. Wind began to blow with the great force. Clouds roared and lightning began to flash. The rains started pouring torrents. TORRENTS. A strong and fast moving stream of water or other liquid, an overwhelming outpouring of something, typically words. In a short time the whole place was flooded with water. All creatures, birds, beasts and men got terribly frightened and they flocked to the masjid for shelter. There are many local deities in Shirdi, but none of them came to their rescue. So they all prayed to Baba, their God, who was fond of their devotion, to intercede and quell the storm. మధ్యవర్తిత్వం వహించండి మరియు తుఫాన్ అణిచివేయండి. Baba was much moved. He came out standing at the edge of the masjid, addressed the storm in a loud and thunderous voice. Stop your fury and be calm. In a few minutes the rain subsided. తగ్గిపోయింది, అణిచివేయబడింది. The wind ceased to blow and storm came to stop. Then moon rose in the sky and people went back home well pleased. On another occasion at noon the fire in the Dhuni began to burn brightly. In flames were very seen to be reaching the rafters above. The people were sitting in the masjid, did not know what to do. They dared not to ask Baba to pour out water or do anything to quench the flames, but Baba soon came to realize what was happening. He took up his satka, SATKA, short stick, and dashed it against a pillar front, saying, "Get down, be calm." At each stroke of the satka, the flames began to slow down. Few minutes, the dhuni became the calm and informal. This is our Sai, in an incarnation of God. He will bless any man who will procedure and surrender himself to him. He who will read the stories of this chapter daily with faith and devotion will soon be free from all calamities. Not only this, but always attached and devoted to Sai. He will get very soon God vision. All his desires will be fulfilled, and being ultimately desireless, he will attain the supreme. Amen. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace to be all. Sreenivasa Vijayate.